Well, hi, I'm Mr. Steve, and I want to tell you a story. Well, today's story is called Pizza for Sam. Okay. And it was written by Mary LeBlanc, illustrated by Marisol Sarrazin. And the people that printed the book are the Kids Can Press. Again, it's called Pizza for Sam. Joan and Bob were having a party. They made food, but no one made food for Sam. If you have a dog, have you ever seen what your dog looks like if he's out of food, if he doesn't have any food in his food bowl? He's awfully sad. And usually he'll let you know that he's supposed to have some food in that bowl. I know mine does. He has a special bark. When he barks, I know he's out of food. Dogs are pretty smart. Well, in the story, the doorbell rang, and Joan and Bob ran to the door, and so did Sam. And Sam saw cakes and cookies and pies and chips. This is good, thought Sam. I need food. He was sure he was going to get some of the food that everybody brought. Well, Joan and Bob put the food on the table, and Sam sniffed. Yum, said Sam. This is good food. I know when there's food in the house, especially good food, my dogs are always hovering around the table. They just can't wait to get some of that food. Well, that's what Sam did too. Sam jumped onto a chair and he sniffed the cake. He said, I like cake. Cake is good for puppies. Well, but Bob saw her. He says, no, Sam, cake is not for puppies. Woof, said Sam, and he flopped on the floor. Look at that. He's just laying on the floor. He is so sad. He said, I need food. I need food for puppies. Well, Sam jumped back in the chair and he sniffed the cookies. He says, I like cookies. Cookies are good for puppies. But Joan saw him this time. He said, no, Sam, cookies are not for puppies. And you know, that is true. Cake and cookies and things like that, those aren't very good for dogs. I know sometimes they get a little piece of it once in a while, but it's really not good for them. Well, Sam is really sad now. Woof, he said. And Sam flopped on the floor. Says, I need food. I need food for puppies. Well, Sam jumped back on the chair, and this time she sniffed the pie. I like pie. Says, pie is good for puppies. But Joan and Bob both saw him this time and said, no, pie is not for puppies. Woof, said Sam. She flopped on the floor. She said, I need food. I need food for puppies. And Sam looked so sad. Really sad. Well, Sam went to her food bowl. Even though the puppy is called Sam, it's a girl. So I think her name is really Samantha, but everybody calls her Sam. Well, Sam went to her bowl and she put her chin on her paws and she closed her eyes and she started to dream. And she dreamed of cake and cookies and pies and chips and lots of chips. Well, Bob came back and Sam opened her eyes. Said, "Are you hungry, Sam?" said Bob. Well, Sam jumped up and she said, "You bet. Bring on the food." Well, Bob went to the kitchen and came back with Sam's bowl. Well, Sam put his nose in the bowl and he said, "Yuck, this is dog food." And I don't know why it is, but dogs seem to like people food more than they do dog food. I guess that makes a whole lot of sense because I like people food better than dog food too. "Dog food stinks," he says. "I hate dog food." Sam was sad. Sam said, "Dog food is not for puppies." Well, the doorbell rang, and Joan and Bob ran to the door, and Sam ran too. And guess who was there? It was the pizza man. He had a big box, and he said, "Pizza." And Sam just sniffed and sniffed. "What is pizza?" thought Sam. "Doesn't smell like cake or cookies. It doesn't smell like pies or chips. Best of all, it doesn't smell like that stinking dog food." Well, Joan put the box on the table and the doorbell rang again. And the telephone rang. So Joan went one way and Bob went the other way. Well, Sam looked at the box and he looked around and everyone was busy. Well, Sam dragged the box behind the sofa. She scratched at the box and chewed at the box, trying to get inside the box. She knew there was something good in there. At last, the box was open, and he took one whiff, and he thought that that was the best thing he ever smelled in his whole life. Yum, she thought. This is good food. Cake is not for puppies. Cookies are not for puppies. Pie is not for puppies. Dog food is not for puppies. I know what is for puppies. Do you know what is for puppies? Pizza. Pizza is for puppies. Well, that may be true. Pizza is good, but it's not a good thing to give your dog pizza all the time, maybe once in a while. In fact, we have a thing at my house where you know how you eat the pizza and a lot of times you'll have crust and you don't want to eat the crust. And, sometimes we'll take a little bit of the crust and we'll give it to one of our dogs. And we call those pizza bones. So the next time you have pizza, and if you have a dog in the house, think about old Sam. And if you can, and if it's okay with your mom and dad, give him a pizza bone. This is Mr. Steve saying goodbye and have a good day.